Okay, now we have another candidate from 20B, Elise Diesslin. Elise?
A little bit about me. So I'm from Elgin, and my dad is a teacher at what was formerly Elgin Millville and is now Plainview Elgin Millville Consolidated District. And I was a runner in high school. I ran cross country and track. And my dad happened to be a cross country and track coach. And, sorry. During a particularly important race one time, I came up to my dad and I was like, Dad, I can't do this. I can't do this race. I am losing my mind. I cannot do this race. I'm freaking out. And he said, Elise, your body reacts physically the same way it does when it's nervous as it does when you're excited. Your hands shake, your heart races, right? There's butterflies in your stomach. Except the only difference is when you're nervous, it's negative, and when you're excited, it's seen as a positive. And so I hope you can tell that I'm very excited to be here. I am not running for office to have a soapbox. I am very not, I'm not excited to publicly speak most opportunities, right? But I think being a legislator, you don't have to be an extrovert. You don't have to have someone that brings their own soapbox to events. You have to be somebody that can listen. You have to be somebody that can get the work done. You have to be somebody that can put your head down and get work done. That's who I am, okay? In the spring of 2020, right at the height of the pandemic, I graduated with my master's. I have a master's in advocacy and political leadership. I was part of the graduating class of many students around the US, high school, undergrad, and graduate school where their graduation ceremonies were canceled. I celebrated in my backyard with my own little motorboard and my dog. And again, I ran, so this is my third time running for Minnesota House of Representatives. And I ran in 2016 for the first time. My former House representative used to be Andy Welty when I was younger. I don't know if you all recognize the name at all. The district was slightly different. I first got involved in 2008 when I was 18, so I've literally my whole adult life has been dedicated to politics in one way or another. I'm currently 32 if you want to do that math. But I ran in 2016 for the first time at 26. Andy Welty first ran and won at 24, so I thought, like, I got this, right? He did it in Plainview. I live in Elgin. Like, it was really awesome to see someone who was a young person in my area run and win. He unseated a Republican incumbent. It was really, really cool, and it really inspired me. And my undergrad, I have an undergrad in political science and graphic design. So I was like, I can do this. I worked on his campaign. Let's do it. People are extremely annoyed at a young woman running for office. I had people even ask me if you're old enough to vote. And I was like, yes, there's rules and regulations to run for office. I looked them up. I'm well aware. So, and still now I have people kind of poo-poo the idea of a young woman running for office. And I don't know if it's young that's counting against me, being a woman that's counting against me. It's extremely infuriating. And I want to be able to do this work to show other young women that they can run for office and change their communities. So I ran in 2016 against a long-term incumbent, Steve Draskowski, boo. And I lost, right? So in 2018, I went to get my master's, and I was like, I'm gonna come back, I'll be higher educated, I'll be ready, I'll be more prepared, I learned from my mistakes from the previous time. Let's do this. And everything was put on hold, right? We're all aware, right? It's slowly starting to come back, but things are still different. And in 2020, did as best I could. I literally ran around the district. If anybody followed my campaign, I ran every Sunday for I think 20 weeks, and I ran in my district. I picked a new town, I ran every Sunday, and I think I ran about 75 miles around the district, just going for a run in the afternoon. Some of you here joined me in some of them. It was nice because it was really lonely doing it alone most of the time. And I lost again. So kind of pick yourself back up and think, do I want to do this again? How many times? And waited for the redistricted maps, wanted to see what that kind of potentially looked like. This is a district, my former district, kind of snaked in between Rochester, Red Wing, and Winona, but didn't touch Rochester, Red Wing, or Winona. And the maps did change a little bit. I formerly had parts of 4 counties. I still have parts of 4 counties, different counties. And it's still quite rural. And as Dan had mentioned, so many people have written off Greater Minnesota. I saw a tweet when people were filing for office from someone in the Twin Cities who had said, Republicans aren't even filing here in the Twin Cities. They're not even bringing people out here to represent them as a candidate. And I tweeted back at him and I said, it's kind of the exact opposite down here. In 2016, when I first decided to run, I'm in Wabasha County, people in Wabasha County were begging people, we will file your filing fee to be on the ballot. We need a name. We just need a body. Just somebody to run for office. And I think that's really disappointing, and that's why, again, I thought, I can do this. I am a young person, I can do this. We can have people who look like us who run for office. And so when it came to 2022, I'm not running against Steve Draskowski again. This time I'm running Steve Jacob, Winona County Commissioner, who some of you may know. That got a bigger reaction than Steve Draskowski. But he is a Steve Draskowski clone. At forums that we have been at, he has touted that he is endorsed by Steve Draskowski, that he is just like Steve Draskowski. He is using it as a positive to get people to vote for him because he is like Steve Draskowski. I don't want him to win. I would be his constituent, right? If he wins, he represents me. If I win, I represent him, right? I don't want him. I didn't want Steve Draskowski. And so we need to do the work. We need to show up. We need to talk to our friends and our families. It's not just me, the candidate, it's all of us, right? We have to convince these people who are, I have them in my family, right? Hardline Trump supporters. I say never. It's like, well, that's your option, I guess, then. But if we can start seeing eye to eye on things and start realizing that, in my opinion, the Democratic Party are the only ones that are showing up for real people. We're getting the work done. And I'm tired of constantly hearing no, right? Let's see what we can do and see the change that we can make. And I hate public speaking, so I think I would be a really good legislator because I would listen. I would have an open door policy to my office. And I think, again, I could get the work done, and rather than just fill the legislature with bill after bill, we could make real change. And so, I am Elise Diesslin. I'm running for Minnesota House of Representatives. Thank you for inviting me today.
Now, she said, I think I can, much as we said when we talked about Dan, she will. Not can.